To me, I argue that it is extremely good value for money for the United States and for others. Perhaps for about 5 or 10% of your defense budget, almost half of Russia's pre-war military equipment has been destroyed without the loss of a single American life. This is an investment in United States security. So that's what I would say. On the issue of legal advice, I think it is an important principle.
This is my video update on this Wednesday afternoon, April the 10th. Let's talk about some news. And let's start things off with the Russian Investigative Committee coming out with a statement yesterday and saying that they are investigating companies like Burisma for financing terrorism. Not only are they investigating companies like Burisma, but they're also investigating Western officials as well for involvement in terrorist activities. Quite a statement from the Russian Investigative Committee. I did not see that one coming. Man, did I not see that one coming. When I saw the story, the news that Russia was going to be looking at companies like Burisma for financing terrorism, I was just like, man. Wow, Burisma, Hunter and Burisma, the gift that keeps on giving, or the reverse of a gift, I guess, the curse for the Biden family that just keeps on turning up, huh? That story just does not go away. So, Burisma, Krisha, which is the Russian word for roof. But the mafia, they use the word Krisha to mean protection. Shokin, the Ukraine prosecutor, and Biden's trip to Kiev, where he told Poroshenko, if you don't fire that prosecutor who's investigating Burisma, investigating the activities of Zlochevsky and all of those guys involved in Burisma, maybe even Kolomoisky, I don't know. But if you don't fire the prosecutor, you're not getting the $1 billion. Son of a gun. They fired the prosecutor. Biden laughed as he was telling the story of Krisha and Burisma. Anyway, let's see here. So far, investigators have established that the funds flowing through commercial organizations, including the oil and gas conglomerate Burisma Holdings, operating in Ukraine, have been used in recent years to carry out terrorist attacks in Russia. Committee spokeswoman Svetlana Petrenko said terrorist activities have also reached beyond the country, aimed at the elimination of prominent political and public figures, as well as causing economic damage. She said the committee's specialists have been working in cooperation with other intelligence services and financial intelligence. Petrenko noted the scrutiny currently revolves around checking sources of income and further movement of funds in the amount of several million US dollars, and examining the potential involvement of specific individuals from among government officials, people with civic and commercial organizations of Western countries, the spokeswoman said. The spokeswoman, Svetlana Petrenko, is from the Russian Investigative Committee. This is much bigger than the terrorist attack in Moscow a couple of weeks ago. Or at least the investigation has expanded way beyond the Crocus City Hall terrorist attack. Did not see that one coming. Did you guys see this one coming? Who called Burisma? Tell me now in the comments down below. When this investigation got started, who called Burisma? Who called Burisma? Wow. Unbelievable stuff. So the whole, this is where I see this thing going. The whole Putin, ICC, he can't travel anywhere because there's an arrest warrant and all of this stuff that the collective West cooked up. You know what Russia's going to do? They're going to start naming some people who they believe are involved in various terrorist financing and stuff like that. And those people who are going to be based in Ukraine and maybe even the USA and the European Union. I don't know, maybe, perhaps. But those people are not going to be able to go anywhere outside of their country or outside of Europe or the US or whatever. Because if they go anywhere outside of their safe region, their safe country, then they run the fear that Russia's going to grab them. That's where this is going, man. That is exactly where this is going. Oh boy, so Jake Sullivan, he spoke to the media and he addressed these Burisma claims, these allegations. And Sullivan, Jake said that all this stuff is nonsense and noise. It's nonsense, Jake Sullivan stated. Russia knows it was ISIS who committed the attack in Moscow. We know it was ISIS who committed the attack in Moscow. We warned Russia of an impending terrorist attack in Moscow, and all of the rest of this is noise. ISIS-K, Jake. ISIS-K, not ISIS. ISIS-K. Come on, man. Come on, Jake. I don't know. Jake sounds kind of worried. I don't know. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We were telling them that an attack was going to happen. That is what Jake is saying. We warned them. We warned them of an impending attack. We know it's ISIS. They know it's ISIS. Everyone knows it's ISIS-K. Everyone knows it's ISIS-K, according to Jake Sullivan. All of this is just noise. It's nonsense and noise, according to Jake. Oh, boy. So that's the statement from Sullivan. He is denying everything, denying it all. More Russian disinformation, Putin misinformation. So Cameron, Lord Cameron, he is in the United States begging the U.S. for $61 billion to hand over to Project Ukraine. And from what I understand, Cameron met with Trump, I believe, in Mar-a-Lago. And according to The Guardian, the meeting did not go so well for Lord Cameron. According to The Guardian, Trump, he was not so hot on the idea of handing over $61 billion to the Elensky regime and starting World War III. Go figure. Go figure. Trump was not so receptive to the idea of starting a nuclear war. Why would Trump not want to start World War III and a possible nuclear war? Come on, man. Come on, Trump. Cameron is pitching you a really good idea. Let's give $61 billion to the Elensky regime. Then France can send troops to Ukraine. Then we, as Britain, can send troops to Ukraine. And then when our troops are annihilated by the Russian military, we are going to come crying to the USA. Please bail us out. Please help us we are getting annihilated by the Russian military, and then we can have World War III. It's really a worthy cause, huh? Trump to send 61 billion to Ukraine so we can get the ball rolling on this idea that Cameron and Macron have cooked up. Yeah, Trump was not going for it, according to The Guardian. David Cameron seemingly fails in bid to persuade Trump on Ukraine aid. That is the title that The Guardian is running with. The Guardian is also reporting that Cameron cannot get a meeting with House Speaker Mike Johnson. David Cameron's attempt to persuade Donald Trump to permit the U.S. Congress to push through $60 billion in military aid for Ukraine appears to have failed after the British Foreign Secretary was not even granted a meeting with Congressional Speaker Mike Johnson, who could, in theory, put the package to a vote. So it's really simple. Mike Johnson right now has the power to save the world from possible nuclear annihilation or to get the wheels rolling, to get the ball going on World War III and possible nuclear annihilation. Because, as I've said in previous videos, what Macron is waiting for is 61 billion to Project Ukraine, and then he wants to send in his French forces towards Odessa. Everything depends on that 61 billion. If that 61 billion does not go to Ukraine, then World War III averted. If that 61 billion goes to Ukraine, then, oh boy, buckle up. Buckle up. Things are going to get crazy. So Cameron, he joined Antony Blinken, and together they spoke to the media and they gave some statements of what is going on. And Cameron, he said that Project Ukraine is a great investment for the USA. This is what he told the media. This is what he told Blinken, who was standing next to him. He said Project Ukraine is a great investment. He used the words value for money. Project Ukraine is value for money, according to Cameron. It is extremely good value for money. Almost half of Russia's pre-war military equipment has been destroyed without the loss of a single American life. This is an investment in the United States security. It's a great investment. Great investment, America. It's a great investment, right? Almost half of Russia's pre-war military equipment has been destroyed without the loss of a single American life, Cameron said. Cameron also said that Project Ukraine is only costing the United States anywhere between 5 and 10% of their military budget, of their military spending. So, I mean, this really is value for money, according to Lord Cameron. Tell that, Cameron, tell that to the Ukrainian men who are being abducted from the streets and thrown into a van and sent to the front line with a month of training, being sent to their certain annihilation. Tell that to the Ukrainian men that have to fight this conflict on your behalf, for you and your globalist buddies. Tell that to them. Value for money, great investment. It's great investment. The hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian lives lost, great investment. All the Russian lives lost, great investment, according to Cameron. It's a great investment. It's a terrible investment. It's a terrible investment. This has been the worst investment that the United States could have ever done, if you look at it from those terms. From an investment standpoint, this has been terrible for the United States. 300 billion, how much? 400 billion, 500 billion? 500 billion for the end of the US unipolar world order. That's what's happened. The end of the US dollar as reserve currency, the rise of BRICS, the strengthening of Russia and China, Lavrov in China, received by none other than Xi Jinping, which is very, very unorthodox. It doesn't happen often that the leader of a country, the president or prime minister of a country, receives the foreign minister. BRICS, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Iran in BRICS. Saudi Arabia in BRICS. The Russian economy, 7.3% growth in February or something like that, while Germany's in recession, the UK's in recession. All of Europe is pretty much in recession. Inflation in the United States. Bogus jobs reports in the United States, right? Biden's bogus jobs report. Fictitious economic data and forecasts from the Biden White House. How is this a good investment for the United States, Mr. Cameron? Russia's military stronger than ever. 1,500 volunteers every day who are going to be trained for 1 year, and they're going to become professional soldiers, professional military soldiers. Russia mass producing Fab 1,500, Fab 3,000 bombs, hypersonic missiles that NATO can't touch. Zircon missiles that NATO doesn't know what to do with. How has this been a good investment, Mr. Cameron? Because you like to see things in terms of investment. Because Cameron doesn't really care about human life and suffering and human loss. Everything is about an investment, right? Debits and credits. Oh boy, so that was Lord Cameron trying to get the 61 billion. Half of Russia's military, pre-war military, has been annihilated. Ben Wallace had it at 90%. Remember that? When Ben Wallace, when he was defense secretary of the UK, he said it was 90%. Some days it's 20%, some days it's 50%, some days it's 90%. But Russia's going to conquer all of Europe, right? 90% of Russia's military annihilated, 50% of Russia's military annihilated. But Russia's going to conquer all of Europe. Which one is it? Which one is it? The truth that Cameron will never say, I don't even know if Cameron knows this. I don't know if his globalist puppet masters even tell him this. But the truth is that Russia has managed to demilitarize most of NATO with 15% of its military resources. That is the truth. And that is an embarrassment and a humiliation for NATO, but also shows the strength of the Russian military and the strength of Russian industry, which can outproduce all of the collective West. Europe and the US combined cannot match Russia's production of missiles, bombs, and ammunition. That's a fact. 15% of the Russian military has demilitarized so many countries in NATO. How was this, Cameron, Lord Cameron, how is this a good thing for the collective West? How has any of this been a good thing for the collective West? You've destroyed Ukraine. How is destroying Ukraine a good thing for the collective West? And why have you destroyed Ukraine? Because you wanted to overthrow Putin? because you wanted to regime change Putin, because Ukraine had to get into NATO, just had to get into NATO. It has to get into NATO. What a clown, man. What a freaking clown. I just get upset thinking about it. Anyway, yeah, demilitarized Europe, a demilitarized Germany, as Cameron is talking about 50% of Russia's pre-war military being annihilated. And this is a great investment for the United States. Annalena 360 was in Moldova, and Annalena 360, she said that Germany is out of Patriots, out of Patriot air defense systems. She said, unfortunately, the stocks, especially our own Patriot systems, are now pretty much exhausted. Therefore, I made it clear at a NATO foreign ministers meeting that we need to check the availability of all Patriot systems in Europe and globally, and that we will make every effort to obtain these systems for Ukraine. Exhausted. Germany's Patriot systems, exhausted. No more. Annalena 360 did the math. She did the math. Germany had 10 Patriot systems, and we gave 10 to Ukraine. 10 minus 10 equals 0, but the 10 are in Ukraine, so the German Patriot systems are now Ukraine Patriot systems, but maybe we can get those back. But Ukraine has those 10 Patriot systems, and the Russians destroyed 10 Patriot systems. So 10 minus 10, 10 went to Ukraine, 10 minus 10 because the Russians destroyed those Patriot systems. We have no more Patriot systems, 0, exhausted. Math is hard. Math is hard. Annalena is saying math is hard, but I think we are out of Patriots to give. I think we are out of Patriot systems, Annalena admitted. And Annalena also said that she's going to go looking for Patriot systems. Oh my God. Yeah, we're going to go looking for some Patriot systems. We don't know where we could find them. Who makes those things anyway? Who makes those Patriot things? We got to go find some. Oh man. Where can you find some Patriot systems? Who makes Patriot air defense systems? Who can I call? Is there anybody that I can call to figure out how many Patriot systems are floating out there in the market? Oh boy. Annalena 360. So Elensky, he is promising another counteroffensive. This is what he told Bild in an interview. Russia has more men, more weapons, but the West has modern weapon systems. If we get production licenses from our partners, then it's not about the number of people. It's about the quality of the weapons. Kiev already has a plan for a new counteroffensive against Russia, Elensky said, indicating that it depends on the U.S. resuming military assistance to his country and the West in general helping Ukraine ramp up domestic military production. We have another counteroffensive. We have another counteroffensive ready, but it all depends on getting the 61 billion. That's right. We have it ready. We have counteroffensive ready. It's ready. It is ready. It will be big. It will be victory. It will be incredible. It will be incredible counteroffensive. But if you want me to do counteroffensive, then you give me 61 billion. You give me 61 billion, I do counteroffensive. Deal? This deal? I like this deal. Oh boy. Elensky. That's right. That's right, Speaker Johnson. Elensky's got a big, super duper counteroffensive cooking up, ready to go. Ready to go. It is going to defeat the Putin, but he needs that 61 billion. He needs that 61 billion because what did Elensky say? It's not about people. It's not about people. It's about the modern weapon systems. It's about the modern weapon systems and the production licenses. If you give us the production licenses and the modern weapon systems, people schmeeple. We don't need people. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I think I read a Times article before recording this video, which said something like the Ukraine military needs to mobilize women, like it has to mobilize, draft women. That's how bad, desperate the situation is. Oh boy, so the EU is putting together a 14th sanctions package. Sure, why not? The 14th sanctions package. Because the 13 sanctions packages, they did really good. They did really good. No freaking reverse gear. No reverse gear. Is there anyone in all of Brussels headquarters, anybody, one person, who can just pull Ursula and Jungle Joseph to the side and just say, you know, Ursula, Jungle Joseph, 14 sanctions package? Really? Really? Have you seen Russia's economic growth numbers? Have you seen where the German economy is at? Have you seen where the French economy is at? Really, Ursula? Really, Jungle Joseph? Another sanctions package? Oh boy, the European Union has begun work on the 14th package of sanctions against Russia. The countries expect to agree on it in the spring, said Vice President of the European Commission, Margaritis Schinas. It will include measures to combat circumvention of restrictions, including the price ceiling on Russian oil. Oh boy. Malaka. We are back at the Russian oil price cap. I can't take it, man. If you don't laugh, you cry. But we're back. We are back at the Russian oil price cap. What was it? $60 a barrel or $62 a barrel? So the 14th sanctions package is going to make sure that it's impossible to circumvent the price cap. Got to stop the Russian oil flowing, because if you stop the Russian oil, you stop Putin's war machine, right? Right. And Lloyd Austin, he was speaking to Congress, and Lloyd Austin said, we told Ukraine to stop hitting refineries because the last thing we want, according to Lloyd Austin, is to stop the Russian oil from flowing, because if Russian oil stops flowing, then the price of oil goes up and Americans are going to pay more at the pump, and that's going to be really bad for Biden, especially as he is trying to be reelected. So Lloyd Austin doesn't want the Russian oil to stop flowing. He even told Ukraine, stop hitting refineries because the price of oil is going up. The European Union, they want to stop the funding of Putin's war machine. And that means you have to stop Russian oil from hitting the market. Put a price cap on it, $62 a barrel. Yeah. Oh boy. So let's do some clown worlds. I feel like this whole video has been a kind of clown world. Apparel, Jungle Joseph Apparel, he was talking about the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, drones hitting the ZNPP, mystery drones. No one knows where these drones are coming from, but they're hitting the ZNPP. And Apparel, he said, and I quote, Reckless drone attack against Zaporozhye nuclear power plant increases the risk of dangerous nuclear accident. Such attacks must stop. Russia should withdraw from Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. That is what Apparel posted on Twitter. Russia should withdraw from Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. Reckless drone attacks, dangerous nuclear accident. Reckless drone attacks could lead to a dangerous nuclear accident. Russia must withdraw from the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. Jungle Joseph Burrell. Pirate Schultz is on TikTok. That's right. Pirate Schultz is on TikTok. He announced it yesterday or 2 days ago. He announced it on the 8th of April. He is on TikTok and he posted on Twitter X, "I don't dance, promise, #TikTok." So is the TikTok going to be Olaf Schultz? Is it going to be Pirate Schultz? Is it going to be a combination of both? Who are we going to see on TikTok? Olaf Schultz? The boring Olaf Schultz? Or are we going to see the exciting, dynamic, dancing Pirate Schultz? I don't know. I don't know who it's going to be, but if you really want to get followers, it better be Pirate Schultz. I don't think people want to see Olaf Schultz. They want to see Pirate Schultz. They want to see Pirate Schultz dancing to the music. And finally, we have this article from a Ukraine website, which has the title, "The Height of Cynicism. Russia invites Ukrainians to friendship games." Russia has indeed sent invitations to some Ukrainian sports federations to participate in the so-called friendship games in Yekaterinburg in September this year. Cynicism? Trolling? Maybe, but you know what? I think Russia is sincere with this invitation. I think Russia really wants to make the friendship games into an athletic event that isn't corrupt and corrupted by politics, not corrupted by money, not corrupted by big business, not corrupted by politics. I think Russia is sincere with this invitation to Ukrainian athletes. Come to the friendship games. It's going to be only about sports and athletics, and everything else, we don't talk about it, we pause it, we don't discuss it. This is a sporting event like the Olympics. Once upon a time, perhaps many decades ago, like the Olympics used to be. I think this is a sincere invitation from Russia. I don't think this is cynicism. I don't think this is trolling, but let me know in the comments down below what you think. Anyway, that is the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and there's my coffee shop, and Twitter X, and go to the Duran shop. Limited merch. Link in the description box down below. Take care.